Hello friends, it's Terry with Terry's Mailbox, and I'm presenting today for Funkie Junkie. As soon as I saw this leaf fragment die from Sizzix, I knew I had to have it, and I'm featuring it today on my Saturday showcase. So I started by doing backgrounds, and again, I'll admit I did pull backgrounds from my stash. I tend to make them ahead of time and then put them away until I need them. So I'm working on a watercolor type paper, a very soft cotton paper here, and I'm using like rusty hinge and mustard seed and brushed corduroy distress ink sprays and just kind of spraying them on here, and then I'll switch over to some of the new distress mica sprays. So again, just kind of spraying and spraying here, and here we go with the distress mica sprays. I use flickering candle, crooked broomstick, and jack-o'-lantern. Again, these were kind of the Halloween or fall colors. So I'll just kind of use my heating tool, and then I decided to throw a bunch of water on there to really get it moving. And then I'll pull back and use some more of the mica sprays to kind of change the color background. Fun. It was just fun to create backgrounds. There we have it. Look at all that shine. So now I'm switching over to alcohol inks, and I did a couple of backgrounds that I used here. This one's on Yupo, so I'm just using a lot of the Ranger alcohol inks in different fall colors and applying some alcohol there. I didn't get my blending solution out. I was using mostly alcohol to get this particular ink piece to move. So just kind of adding. You'll see just kind of adding and playing with it. That's the nice thing about using the Yupo and moving on, is that you can layer on. And if you don't like an area, you can add more alcohol, and it just really helps things move. And so there's the piece I ended up with. So you'll see that on a few of the cards coming up. I really like that one. And then I switched over to glitter paper. Oh my gosh, I think this was my favorite. Again, using the same colors of the alcohol inks, just getting it to move. And here's my final backgrounds. I didn't use them all, but there it is on acetate. I did use that one. And then there's that glitter. And I didn't use it, but I did use that one on the background. So just fun stuff. So here I'm going to introduce my first cards here, and for this I used just a craft slimline card. The leaves are cut out of a distress ground that I had in my stash, stamped with the ledger script frame. In the background I've got a piece from Ideology, and then of course those viewfinder frames. So this one again is done with the Yupo, and then the one with the mica sprays on the background. So I cut out a circle in the center of that distress ink background, and I'm going to mount that on craft. And then I cut that creative out using one of the Thinlet sets. I believe it's called Shine. I found the word creative in there and just thought that was a great way to spotlight what I was up to. And then I've got the 3 leaf fragments cut with cut out of the Yupo paper, and I'm using collage medium to go ahead and attach them. So I'm kind of having this set go off to the side. Just kind of arranging them here. I love the contrast between the shiny Yupo paper and that very what do I want to say, bumpy watercolor-like paper in the background. And then we'll go ahead and add the creative there. Just using my tape runner. And then we'll trim that off. And then I will add a twine bow to that one. So this, I think, is one of my favorites. For this one, I ended up using the Stampers Anonymous Birch stamp set to stamp that longer background. Had to stamp it one on top of each other to get that background. And then I also cut the leaf fragments both out of a forest green dark paper, and then I cut it out of one of the distressed backgrounds that I had in my stash. Again, kind of the fall colors. I'm going to have to rejuvenate my stash after this. But again, they're just ink schmooshed backgrounds that I used for a lot of these. So again, putting the leaves together kind of at a little bit of offset so that that green piece really popped up there and made the leaf really dramatic. I also used the edges of the Distress Leaf Fragments with the Rustic Wilderness Distress ink. I have to stop and think of the name. So again, I've got my craft slimline card, then I've got that forest green piece, and I'm showing you here kind of where I stamped the birch on one on top of each other and had a little bit of an overlap there, but I'm going to cover that with the sentiment. So we're just kind of assembling the card. And as you can see, I left just a very small border around the perimeter of the card. So here I've got that Never Lose Your Sense of Wonder sentiment strip on craft, and I used an earlier leaf stamp. Let me see here. It's the Nature's Wonder. And again, several of my sentiments came out of that particular set. So again, I decided it needed a little bit of an accent. So again, I cut out the forest green paper and kind of edged it. So then here I'm just, adding the leaves, trying to figure out, what order I want to put them in. And I'll again use the collage medium to attach them. Fall, I think, is one of my favorite seasons. I just really love the changing of the colors in the fall, and it's just, you get the brilliant oranges and reds and rust-colored and yellow, and it's just a very fun season. So again, just kind of adding that leaf, and then we'll go ahead and put the sentiment strip on there, and then we've got that particular card. As I said, I think this is my favorite of the set. And there we have it. On to the next card. So the next card, I use that gorgeous glitter paper, and I actually did use another smooshed piece from my stash. So again, there's another sentiment from the Nature's Wonder leaf set that I'm going to use on this one. And here's a distress background. I think I've got some tarnished, tarnished brass in there. It gives it a little bit of the sparkle. And again, it's a piece from my stash, and I cut it with the decal edge trimmer. And I've attached it to a craft base. And then here we're just arranging the 3 leaves at the top. And gonna add that sentiment strip. I mean, all of these are fairly easy to do. Again, you just kind of get all your pieces done up front, and then that gives you time to put it all together. So go ahead and add my 3 leaves here. And then in the end, I also added a twine bow to this card. So I needed my stems close enough to add the twine bow. And so again, I'm just using my tape runner to add the leaves. And I like the way that one turned out. So I'm going to use just a blob of collage medium to get that twine bow to stick on there, and I'll throw an acrylic block on it until it's dry. Set it aside. And we're off to the next card. So this next card uses, again, another distress ink background that I had. It's got some, you can see kind of some tarnished brass spray, paint spray, not paint spray, but distress spray there. And first thing I did was I cut out an orange leaf out of that background piece, and I decided to use it on the top of the card. So again, I often do that if I'm if I'm creating backgrounds and I need another shape, I'll cut it out of the middle because you don't see it anyway, because I'm going to go ahead and add that that distress ink smooshed piece there on the top. So adding my tape runner here, getting that piece on there. And then you can see the 3 leaves that I have over there at the side. And the plaid actually came from a cutout from the last card that I'm going to show you today. And then I cut out the brown leaf, and then I decided to layer the brown leaf for a little bit more dimension. And so I did layer, cut out additional, I think 2 additional leaves and put them together, and then edge the ink in, or inked the edges in Vintage Photo. So again, I just thought it needed a little bit of a pop, and there's that Never Lose Your Sense of Wonder again. This time it is heat embossed with a copper ink, and so I'm just layering it a couple of times, give it a little dimension. And then we'll trim that and attach it to the front of the card. I love adding dimension to my cards. It just, again, I was a big foam tape person, but again, I've kind of found that by adding additional layers, you can get a really good dimension there. So there's the card with all the ink blending and everything else. And here is another card. And you may recognize this background. This background actually I used on the very first card. And so again, I'm a big two-fer person. So when I cut that out of that distress ink and stamp around, I decided to use it. So, here I just kind of place the pieces back on and then push through the cutouts to give the dimension. So there's the first card that I did, and you can see that those are the 3 leaves from it. So again, I'm going to add this piece to the top. Again, I'm a big craft cardstock fan. I really like using craft cardstock. Especially good for these fall colors. And then I have this Out of Limitations Come Creativity. And this is from an older Stampers Anonymous stamp set. But again, I thought it just matched perfectly for this. And then I, of course, edged it with the forest green. And I decided to put it at a little bit of an angle on the card, and then we'll just trim it. And that card will be ready to go. And then I have one final card for you today. I hope you've been enjoying the video. So this is the final card. I used the acetate alcohol ink piece for this one. And you may recognize that plaid. I used the cutout leaf on a prior card. Again, like I say, I'm a big fan of furs and reusing things. And then I also cut out the leaf in orange to put on the inside of the card because I thought it just made it look, so much better and gave it some texture. And I've got a sentiment here, a different path doesn't make you lost. So we'll go ahead and add that. And then I found these enamel dots in my stash that I thought just really matched this card very well, the colors. So again, here I am double doing the sentiment to make sure it's popped up. And then I'll go ahead and ink the perimeter of the sentiment strip. And then I'm going to add that right there to the front. And so then I'm adding the enamel dots. kind of adds a little bit of bling to the card. I just you know, I needed something else on there, so I kind of like the way these look. And there we go. And that is the final card. So I'll give you a run through. So there's the first one, there's that one. Look at them all. I just thought they were all so cool. I really enjoyed doing these for Funkie Junkie's Saturday showcase, so I hope you've enjoyed my tour. I am, as a last minute thing, I am going to add some twine bows to 2 of the cards. And so I'm going to go ahead and just add little blobs of collage medium to hold them in place, and I have it tied around the top of that brown leaf. And then the collage medium, like I say, just, you know, really helps to adhere it. And then I'm just adding that acrylic block again. So again, it's Terry with Terry's Mailbox. I hope you enjoyed my Saturday showcase for the Funkie Junkie. I am on Instagram, Facebook. I have a blog, and I'm on YouTube. I would love to have you come and subscribe and or follow. Have a great day.